What's up, everybody? It's the homie Truth Teller, the street reporter, and it's a lot of shit going on in the culture. It's a young man by the name of Sincere Cole, I believe was 15 years old, gunned down, life took him like it didn't matter out here in Chicago. You know, the culture done got so violent, it's to the point now where the guns are like outfits. You know, this shit is fashionable, it's trendy. You almost lame if you ain't got the blick. You know, according to reports a couple days ago, this young man was leaving out of a Shell gas station in Chicago, leaving out of it when, you know, some people got up on him. He was shot 24 times or over 24 times, which means that I believe they had the switches, the buttons. And I was telling people that those things has became dangerous because back in the day, you know, a drive-by shooting could lead to a lot of gunshots, but you might just be messed up, walking funny. You know, it's a possibility you could survive. Nowadays, with the switches and shit, you know, it's going to be hard to make it out of there. Soon they squeeze the trigger, 20, 30 bullets coming out. I believe that's what happened to that young man. I'm not sure what life he was into, but to be 15 years old, I believe he had to be, you know, lost in the world for somebody to want to do that to him. And what I mean lost is not lost as far as, you know, nobody cared about him. But if he was doing some street shit, to be doing it at 15 years old, not trying to go to school, further his education, you got to be lost. And I'm not saying that's what happened. You know, a lot of people say this young man was just a regular young man that be out in the hood, got out, walked out of a gas station, and something happened to him. You know, he wasn't targeted. I don't know. I don't want to get into the specifics, but what I want to tell you is, you know, today we're not treating 15-year-olds like 15-year-olds is becoming sickening. But I do get it in Chicago because a 15-year-old is grown. They'll blick your ass down. The shorties out here doing more damage than the grown-up. So I do get it. But I just think that's the culture, you know. When you do a little more ground check on this young man, you see that he done lost his mother. He lost his grandmother. He lost his cousin to gun violence, I believe another relative, so he was used to losing people, you know. Going through that kind of lifestyle to transition you into this life, you know. He had Street 101, you know. He was used to taking losses and shit, you know. I feel like the city of Chicago might have failed this young man, to be honest with you, you know. And I understand it ain't nobody else's job to raise nobody kids, but that family went through a lot of shit, you know. I'm not sure if the people in that family deserve to have that young man taken from them that day. You know, I'm not sure if Saturday was the day that young man was supposed to be taken from them, you know, but things happen. My condolences to his family. The shooter ain't been caught, and then you got to understand, it's a culture up. Be quiet. This was a gas station. It's cameras and shit all outside. All kind of shit going on, you know. So I'm pretty sure people know what happened. But in Chicago, you got to keep your mouth quiet. That's the culture that's built out here where a stranger can come in your community and kill somebody that you love. And you got to... I'm not saying it's right and I'm not saying it wrong, but I wanted to shed some light to this case because, you know, that could have been anybody, you know. Think about this. I want to tell you guys something, too. You got to stop sending them kids to them stores to get chips and get pop and get dishwashing liquid and get Pampers and shit. Don't send your kids to the stores and shit no more. It's too dangerous for that shit nowadays. And you can't be out here walking the streets. I tell everybody that I was put on game on that. Shout out Street Certified News put me on game, and a lot more other people put me on game on this shit, like out in the rack. You cannot be walking to no stores. You cannot be walking to the liquor stores, walking your kid to school. None of that shit. You got to go get you a car. Whether it's a little $500 putt or some shit like that, you got to be in traffic. You cannot be walking these streets. It's too much crazy drugs, ecstasy, perks, Adderalls, Mollies, all kind of shit that people doing with the lean and the high-powered ass weed, where people be out here tripped off, and a nigga walking the street by himself kind of look like a op to these goof-ass young people, you know. You'll be walking to the store to get you a bag of chips and a car slide up on you and blick you down just because they don't know who you is. And niggas be so high, they be like, hey, his ass look like the op. Hey, that go pro, his ass op. And don't even know you, so, you know, that's a rule that I think a lot of people need to put in their entourage ASAP. But this is sad, you know. Young man, 15 years old, Sincere Cole, lost his life due to gun violence drastically. My condolences to the family. It's the homie Truth Teller, the street reporter.